really good games that we remember, they find out whatever the hell that really good moment is, and then they extrapolate so everything around it reinforces that thing specifically. Doom is about shooting things. Everything in Doom is about making shooting things more fun. The Sims is about building a little life. Everything in it is about making sure you can do that more. Not a big fan, but I admire the fact that it does that. When we talk about games that are everything to everyone, I often point people to films. I say, okay, so you want a film that's an action film with all the big action stars and lots of action. Okay, cool. But you also want it to be a Hallmark Christmas movie. You also want it to have a romantic subplot. You also want it to be a time travel movie. You also want it to be about a historical detective. The more things you try and cram in and the more people you appeal to, the fewer people actually want to watch your movie. If you take a video game and you work out the best part of that game and you say, right, let's make an 8 to 10 hour, maybe a 10 to 15 hour experience where the best part of our game is just we mine it for as much content as we can, and when we get rid of all the gold, when we start hitting that bedrock, we stop. And a good example I think of this is Cuphead. Cuphead found out what it wanted to be, gave you all the levels it could think to make of that, and then it stopped. Portal gave you all the levels, and then it stopped. A lot of games don't know when to stop, and designers don't understand that once we've found the core concept of a game, there is only so long you can drag it on before the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, survival, open world, crafting online, rear their ugly head and force themselves into the game.
My husband's favorite game type. Yes.
I've often said if I was going to make a very specific gotcha game, like you were talking about way back at the beginning, all I would do is, one, go on Reddit and look at like the various advertisements that are like just like a little boob jiggle physics, and it's like, play our game. And then everything else, I just go to Sam and be like, yo, Sam, what are you spending money on lately? Like, what's got you? And he would be like,
hello, my favorite whale. What's got your attention lately?
Yeah.
And
I'd make a fortune. It seems like it's very easy to say. I don't know what the hell Nike or Nikkei or what just Nikke is, but I see ads for it all the time, and it literally is just like some woman swaying and her boobs are moving like this.
Yep.
And there's guns in the background, and I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I know it makes a fortune.
I
know this game is selling well.
Yeah. I sometimes say jiggle physics in the middle of my video just because I know it makes people look back over. And I know that some people in the Twitch stream have now looked back up or over from their second monitor, gone, hang on, Josh said jiggle physics. What are we on about? We're on about you, exactly, specifically, paying attention at exact moments.
Points at the screen.
We can exploit that.
I know what you're
it's
thinking.
Only our morals stopping us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I made a video recently that was literally just about why there's so many adult games on Steam. And spoilers for the end of that video, it's you. You're why. Literally,
it's always been you.
People want it. Yeah, that's it. It isn't like the reason why it wasn't as huge as it was years ago is because people were still just like, well, I don't want people to know that I want it, but you want it, and everyone wanted it, and that's how it is. It's always been that way. Like, there's cavemen drawings of people doing it. That's like, it's not, you know.
Steam just brought out the private mode where people can't see what you buy and can't see what you're playing. It's no surprise that almost every friend I have on Steam suddenly went private and sales of Honey Pop just shot up. And I'm like, guys, I know. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Look, I'm calling you out, Dodger, because I think it's hilarious. It's my favorite thing in the world. There was a time period, I don't know when it was. This was a few years back. But Dodger and I are Steam friends. And there was a game that you were playing that was like, I think it was a clicker game.
Yeah.
But it was like boob clicker or something. It was very clearly.
It was like a Monster Girl Idol game. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I saw it and was like, what the hell are you playing? This is so stupid. What are you doing? And then I bought it. I was like, well, I have to see why she's so addicted to it. And then I was like, oh, this game's dirty. And then I was like, oh, Dodge, you're so how dare you? Meanwhile,
disgusting.
I'm like, click. Yeah. You know, it's enjoy, have fun. Who the hell cares?
Dude, one of the best moments of my relationship with Sam was me saying on stream, yeah, well, Sam has 100%ed the first Honey Pop game. Him saying, that's not true. I barely played that game. How fucking dare you? Going to his Steam, typing in the game and having it say in bright, beautiful letters, "You have all the achievements 100%." And he was like, "What the fuck? Wait a minute, what happened here?" Like he was in a weird brain vortex while he played that game and just scrubbed it from his memory.
Oh yeah, I get brain vortexes all the
Totally.
time.
Yeah, I have brain vortexes all the time. So.
Oh yeah.
This is perfect about games expectations. If you were to download one of those games and it started off with, "Here is a 2-hour really deep narrative reason for why your player is the way they are, you'd be there going, "No, I'm going to download something else. I don't need a 2-hour introduction. I want this specifically." And as silly and as lewd as that might sound, those games know exactly what their audience want and give it to them very quickly. Mm-hmm. Whereas if it was a always online open world survival crafting game, it may not give the audience what they want very quickly, and Steam may find it's refunded within the hour.
There's a great example of this there's a game that came, I don't know even if it's out yet. I don't know. Who knows these days? But it's a game that was kickstarted a while ago, and it was advertised as like the most expensive, like adult erotic video game ever. We're going to get all these artists and all these people to work on it. It's going to be amazing. And then when they released the version of it, it had like crazy combat mechanics and like shmup levels and all this, and everyone was just like, "We just wanted the porn.
No, get me booba.
Where's the boobs?" And people got furious because they were like, "You promised us one thing and you gave us a game. Like, we didn't want the game." Yeah. Like, we wanted the game was the through line to see the dirty scenes, and you didn't give us the dirty scenes.
The game served the other stuff. Well, what they've got was the other stuff serving the game. They put it's the wrong reward. It's the exact kind of Garrosh thing. It's the wrong reward for the wrong player base.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just remember that being hilarious because they were just like, "I didn't want to shoot things in space. I wanted to flirt with the girl in my spaceship and like get some."
It's the ultimate example of a feature creep, right? Yes. We made all this money. What are we going to do with it? I guess we'll add more features. And it's like, no. No, don't. Stop.
No one wanted that. We didn't. Yeah, and that's what I think is interesting about Honey Pop 1 versus Honey Pop 2. Honey Pop 1 was like, match these 3, see a boob. Honey Pop 2 was like, okay, we got 15 story versions, there's multiple girls, there's things to do, and everyone's like,
number 2
but that's not what we wanted.
I'll say it.
Yeah, but it's a really great example of what we've just been talking about, except it's the dirty version, but it's so much simpler. It's people wanted one thing, you told them it was going to be one thing, and then they just sit there and play 25 minutes of a match 3 game, and you're like, well, I could just go on the internet and like, why am I doing this? Why did I give you money? I can just go look up something.
And this is a thing where and it sounds silly, but the vast amount of human advancement has been done in the name of sex. I mean, there's an old saying, everything is about sex, apart from sex, which is about power. So whenever you're doing anything and you're creating anything, especially if it's about game design, someone will have somewhere found a way to do it involving sex, and you'll look and go, did this or did this not work? And now how can I add it to my game specifically?
Mm-hmm. And I mean, just going back through all the games that you have thought are like, this is game of the year last year, sex in it. Most of the time when there is something huge that's everyone's like, wow, everyone's talking about this game. I promise you, there's an element of sexiness to it. It's just what it is. Even if you think the game isn't sexy, I'm telling you, there's an element of sexy in there that is sold everyone on what the game is.